in the first couple of weeks that I was here at Bournemouth, I bumped into James and said, I hear you're doing a hate crime project. And he said, I hear you do hate crime. Not literally, no, but yes. We decided, he very much welcomed me onto the project, and a big part of that was engaging with our students as well.
But I think we need to also thank another colleague in the room who helped with the introductions, Orlando Harvey. So that's how it also probably helped to come together quite nicely. Sorry, Orlando.
I feel like we're at a wedding now. Anyway, so I joined the project in its very early stages, and I was really excited about engaging with form theatre, which I hadn't used before, and seeing how the students would respond to it. And part of the process was to give students an evaluation form. So you know what you're like when you sit in a room and at the end we go, here's an evaluation form. Half the people in there really kind of hide it under their desk or don't want to fill it in. But we were very lucky that we have over 200 forms back on the basis of the form theatre events that we ran. And a big part of the reason why we got so many students was because my wonderful head of department allowed us to embed it in our units and embed it in Freshers Week. And so when our students came in, our current level 4s, some of whom are here today, we said we take hate crime seriously enough that we will put it in here in your first week at university and say, there is no place for hate crime at Bournemouth. I'm losing my voice, been talking too much. And we stand together and we stand against it as a university. And we felt that was a really powerful message because we know it goes on everywhere. So if you were talking about how it was going on everywhere. So, you know, there's no point in us pretending that hate crime doesn't happen. And neither is there a point in us being complacent about it and saying after today we can just say, well done, we've done a great project. It is about all of us doing those micro acts, helping each other, supporting one another, the bystanders in the room. Yeah. So I don't want to give you loads of information about what we got, but I did want to emphasise a couple of slides. To give you the context, we had, if you can see it, majority of undergraduate students who were exposed to the theatre event. Now some of them, it was embedded in their learning, like we did in social science and sociology and anthropology, and sociology and criminology students all got to see it across all 3 years at undergraduate. For others, we had events here on Talbot. We had some sort of freestanding events where students just came along. We had the student union promote it. So we had a variety of different ways in which you were exposed to the event. I have to say, embedding it in, I don't know you guys, but what you said about how making students watch it really had a difference was great. And I don't want to say we forced them. They didn't have to turn up, but they got a lot more out of it than they expected. So as you would imagine, they were mostly between 18 and 24. Look at this poor old student here. But I'm going to skip forward a little bit to the impact that it has. And I think this is a really powerful question and quite an ambitious question to put on a questionnaire. Have you learned or experienced something that will change the way you work, think or live? Change your thinking. It's actually quite hard to change people's thinking, change people's lives. We can all say, oh yeah, things go in and out of our heads all the time. 85% of our cohort that responded said yes, this has changed how we think, work and live this experience. And I think that's a credit to the theatre group as well for being so powerful.
Expecting this is not powerful.
And some of those who said no, it was because they knew it all already, okay? So yes, it really changed them. And the second point on this slide, how likely are you to recommend it? On a scale of 1 to 10, across over 200 responses, we averaged out at over 8 out of 10. The 3 areas that I wanted to highlight today were the impact that it has had on our participants. And I think you guys touched on it already. It was informative, absolutely. They felt empowered. They felt empowered to make a stand and to call out hate crime for what it is. And it had an emotional impact upon them. So the next couple of slides, I've just got examples from the students that I'll put up and let you have a browse through. There are hundreds, literally hundreds of responses. So for example, if you can't read it like me, if you haven't got your glasses on and down the back, thought-provoking, made me aware of hate crime, made me realise that hate crime happens on a regular basis and is not just about the media. So what we found was, despite the difficult nature of the topic, the uncomfortableness around hate crime, the discrimination, the nastiness that it involves, that forum theatre was a really positive way, a safe way of engaging with this difficult concept. That students, yeah, they were shocked, but they were absolutely engaged. You could have heard a pin drop in some of those sessions, and certainly a hair stood up on the back of your neck in some of the acting that was involved. It was creative, it was engaging, serious but fun, like you said, Andy. There was humour in there. They were calling out the bystanders. They were they wanted blood, some of them. But it allowed a judge-free zone and gave them a voice. So we had some final recommendations on the basis of what the students fed back to us. There was a desire for additional scenarios. Perhaps we could think about other forms of hate crime that we hadn't covered in the sessions. Perhaps we could think about other victims of hate crime that we hadn't covered. That we could do more about the solutions, because we gave them a lot of information, but I think that was about the time limitations that we had in the sessions. And so we can do more about promoting how to report. And lastly, they just wanted more. They wanted more time to talk about it. They wanted more time to digest it and more time to discuss it. So I cannot emphasize enough how much of a pleasure it was to work on this project in a strange way. I know when you work in hate crime, it seems odd to say that. But to know that James's project had such a great impact, and to know that we were working with all our partners in the community, that together we were making a stand. There's the voice going again. It was an absolute pleasure, and particularly to hear the student feedback and know that has made a difference for them as well. So I'll stop talking now because I'm gone. But thank you very much for listening.